It's such a powerful story of determination and perseverance and not giving up.
What Peter really wanted to do was to win a yacht race. That was what it was all about. He wanted to win the race around the world.
We always consider ourselves to box above our weight. We always consider ourselves to be the Jack Terrier of the globe.
I just remember him as being a very humble but inspiring man. He had great dreams and he just went out and made them happen.
Sir Peter Blake allowed Kiwis to dream that anyone can actually achieve this.
He gathered together the best talent. He motivated them. He lifted the standards of their performance, not just as sailors, but as a team.
What he did that was completely unique was he turned one country into one team.
I remember standing in my lounge watching the TV when we won the America's Cup here in New Zealand and seeing the hordes of people across the viaduct. And I looked up onto my mantelpiece and I had my red socks there. And I just thought, this man, Peter Blake, what an inspirational leader.
That ability to inspire the nation through his actions and through his achievements, you know, he brought New Zealand together.
He knew what he wanted to do and he did it, and he kept doing it, and he kept finding other ways of doing it.
I was really inspired by the work of Sir Peter Blake, especially as an environmental leader.
He'd seen what was happening to the oceans and he wanted to make a difference. He wanted his legacy to be more than just a guy who won a bunch of yacht races.
It's terrible to think that that sort of promise for what he could do for our planet, if you like, was cut short. But I think in many respects that example is being carried on. It's alive and well and kicking.
The whole concept is very powerful to the New Zealand psyche, to the way we see ourselves. And it's a demonstration of, yes, it is possible. That is the real legacy of Peter. That's the power that he's given us as New Zealanders to know that that level of performance we're capable of. The key ideas behind leadership are understanding the values or the principles by which you wish to operate, whether it's in a society, in an educational institution, in a business. So understanding those values and acting those values is really what leadership is about.
There was never, and never has been, a more determined young man than the young Halberg to succeed. That is going to be the one moment in my life that I take the initiative, that I'm the best in the world. To be a leader, you must listen, because everybody has something, even though it might be sort of minuscule. There's a germ of an idea or a germ of a human sense of something good and all.
What bursts out the door when they come on the field is actually the result of weeks and weeks of preparation. I would often say there's no way we'll lose the game today. If we play as well as we can play, we'll beat this team. I don't think a leader can ever be a leader unless they have a confidence about them that the other guys and girls can attach to.
When people ask me who are my mentors, it's my parents. The fact that they came here to a new country, a new culture, a new language. It was all, don't waste this opportunity. It was all, we're in New Zealand now, make the most of it. I think I was always a smart kid, and so I knew what was possible. So I think leaders are important for actually being an example of what is possible with life.
The obstacles I've faced are people wanting to pigeonhole me and say, you're a lawyer, you can't write a screenplay, or, you know, you're a mum, you shouldn't be working long hours. I think effective leaders are courageous. I think for me it was having my son that was a huge motivation to think, life's not going to get any easier and this opportunity is not just going to drop into my lap. I actually have to make it happen.
When there's been conflict or you're trying to rebuild a nation, it's about understanding the people that you're trying to help, having a degree of empathy and winning their hearts and minds, helping them to help themselves. Leadership sometimes through trial and error. The key, I think, is to learn from that and to try and do better next time.
The real measure of leadership is your ability to bounce back from setbacks or failure, to recalibrate, to realign where you're heading, to gather your team around you again and head off in a new direction with some degree of confidence.
Being a leader in health is people being able to see what you're up to and walking the talk. I was raised in a community where your word was your bond, and if you said that you were going to do something, you did it.
Lick the lollipop of mediocrity once and you'll suck it forever. It's not about physical courage, it's also about moral courage. In order to be a successful leader, first you have to have integrity. and I think you have to do what you believe is right. I don't like failing, so once you accept a challenge, then it's got to work.
When I think about leadership in action, I instantly think of a team that's mobilised towards a courageous vision. You don't have great leadership without a great team of people around you.
My vision was to have a leadership role in an organisation that was really making a difference and making a contribution to people in our society and our country. So I think the leader's role in developing a team it's massive. In some ways, it's nearly everything. The leader will determine where the team's going. It'll determine their focus, their clarity around what it is they're actually trying to achieve.
I think leadership is being pretty consistent in whatever it is and however you choose to react. You can't flip and flop, because you might think that you're just doing a little thing, but someone's watching you and taking cues, and you need to be pretty consistent.
Leadership in action is believing entirely in what you're doing, 100%. When you're really passionate about something, at the end of the day, that filters through. It's all about inspired people wanting to make a difference.
I guess I started captaining when I was in my mid-20s, and I had a number of much more experienced players than me. Respect, it doesn't come through having the title captain by your name. You gain that respect through your actions and through your decisions and the way that you interact with the larger group. My personal leadership style is around trying to firstly engage, but then to inspire those around me to keep driving to improve up to that next level.
Why is there a focus on leadership in New Zealand? I think it's because we recognise as a country that we need a better quality of leadership if we're going to create the future for New Zealand for our kids that we want. And it's happening almost in an unconscious way, but it's very vibrant, it's very active, and you can really see the difference that it's making.
I think it's a challenge to step up as a leader for the first time, though that if you know inside you you've got some leadership abilities or a desire to be a leader, then you do need to step up.
I would like to see more marine reserves, but I would like it to be something that comes from the communities. So in order to do that, we need to be out there empowering them and inspiring them to want to make those changes.
I think we need more people to be courageous and really step up and show other New Zealanders that this is possible, and there's no limit on what we can achieve.
I have a very dear friend who's 70-something, and she gave me some great advice. She said, "Oscar, just keep living till you die." I like that.
Most thrill comes from the greatest challenges. No pain, no gain.
I love being challenged, and who knows where I'll go. Each time I get near the bar, I'll just reset it again, that next bit higher.
So this focus on the young, their potential, what they are able to do in the future, and what legacy we as parents, as grandparents, leave for them is very, very important and very empowering for us as an older generation in terms of our responsibilities, what we have to do to make sure that we create an environment worthy of these remarkable young people who are coming through.